To answer your question politely, yes, I have been up on the side of a goddamn mountain the last 2 weeks. How the hell else am I supposed to avoid spoilers right now? Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Chimichanga Superstar. I'm your host, Christian, and with me, as always, is Haley.
Hey, everybody.
With the news and everything she has to say in between. And you're going to be drinking some more of your little wine.
My wine.
Your wine.
That is correctamundo.
I always enjoy a sloppy Haley.
I'm pretty sloppy at this point.
Yay!
And I'm hoping...
You know what? We deserve to be sloppy. We just sat through Game of Thrones.
Oh my God, yes.
I know you saw them beforehand.
I did, but you know what? Rewatching them, oh man.
I really don't want to spoil things, and I know you're going to be talking about it, so I will edit out, but just be gentle with me.
I'll do my best.
All right. I'm trusting you this time.
But you know what? Last time we had some problems, and I accidentally grabbed the spike dildo instead of the smooth dildo, and
I bought the wine, so
we had to go to the hospital that one time.
Mm-hmm. It's okay. I enjoyed the fuck out of it. Did you hear me use the safe word? I know what the damn safe word is.
I did not. So you know what? There's
high five.
Air five.
Ooh. Oh God, that was fun. How are you, Haley? How have you been?
I'm drunk. Things have been crazy. Yeah. I am looking for a change.
Yeah.
And I'm happy to be here doing this.
You changed right when you walked in the door. You're like, I'm taking this sexy outfit off and putting this sexy outfit on instead. And here you are, just enjoying life.
That is correct. I put on something that I definitely have a rule about clothing. Mm-hmm. If I can't nap in it, I don't buy it.
That's a pretty good rule.
So I went for something comfortable yet formal into something more comfortable yet casual.
It was funny. I've been wearing boots and moccasins and my feet have been covered. I don't want to. Since I've been home, I've been finding any excuse to go back to my flip-flops again. I know my girlfriend's going to hate me, but I'm fresh off vacation and I'm just in comfy mode still. But I'm in hard-working, butt-kicking comfy mode, so my toes are going to get a little nasty. My toenails are going to need some...
Get that toe jam.
I'm going to need some mani-pedis for a while.
Ooh.
I'm going to spoil me.
I think you should.
Mm-hmm.
I think you deserve to
be
the best sugar daddy to yourself.
You know what? I try. Well, so we're going to be talking a little bit about where I have been.
Oh, man, it's hitting me. Sorry.
The wine?
Yeah, okay, here we go.
Okay. We're going to be talking about where I've been the last week. It's one of my biggest passions, and I want to share it with you all. Really hope some of you get interested and would love to talk to you more about it and play with you after the podcast. So feel free to reach out and talk to me, and I would love to get you involved. Wow, that was way too much, Christian. Slow it down, bitch.
Yeah. That is...
And
what did you smoke? Because you were talking 1 mile a minute, and I feel like my mouth is as slow as molasses.
Maui Wowie.
Maui Wowie.
Yeah.
Wowie.
Oh, that reminds me. I watched the I hate this franchise so much, but the new Fast and Furious movie, Shaw and Hobbs trailer, and it has one of my favorite scenes. Hopefully, coming in movies soon. Just this big Samoan badass team just mowing down a bunch of special forces units. It gives me hope for a movie. So I want to see that.
Very exciting.
And anyways, so back on track. Can you give me some newsy things, please?
Why, yes.
Yay.
We're going to be doing something a little different news-wise today. Mm-hmm. We're going to keep it a little lighthearted.
Yay. Like Patch Adams?
Yeah. I mean, perhaps not necessarily pediatric...
Clown noses.
Okay, you know what?
We were just talking about this earlier about how whenever I get fucked up, I essentially just put my clown nose on anyway. So
that is true. And you know what? I have an on-air confession for you.
Ooh.
I have never seen Patch Adams.
We'll fix that one day. It'll be fun.
So I have 3 news stories for you.
Ooh, I like that. I can count to that. It's a good prime number.
Would you like to... Because here's the thing is I heard about your rendezvous. So I did a little research on it, but I think I'll read that last.
Yes, please. So Smammer me with that, baby.
Segue.
Cool.
Into that. Also, I have a news article about something that we've been keeping an eye on here. That's probably old news for everyone out there in the world.
Yeah, but I've been up on a mountain for for a while, so I think we can go ahead and give me the old news, and I'll still be pretty shocked by just about anything you give me.
So you told me a couple of episodes ago, I don't know if it was last episode or the episode before, to keep track of the Jussie Smollett case.
I want to hear that.
All of the charges have been dropped very mysteriously.
Fuck me, what?
Yeah, so apparently, like, the charges were dropped. Oh my goodness, you guys. Were dropped.
That's the red
at
stuff
the end of March. Which is so interesting. Like, so he was, I guess, facing more than a dozen felony charges, and really, really mysteriously, like, it's not super clear why the charges were dropped, especially because I guess the mayor of Chicago and the police superintendent insist that Smollett would have been found guilty in a court of law. However, the charges have been dropped.
I would have insisted
anyway.
the exact same.
Yeah. Smollett has maintained
no bodies,
his
no one's dead.
No one's dead.
Oh God.
He's maintained his innocence the entire time, and I guess here's what's interesting is the mayor and the superintendent didn't actually know that the charges had been dropped until they found out through media coverage.
What the fuck?
According to Jussie Smollett, he said, "I've been truthful and consistent on every single level since day one. I would not be my mother's son if I were capable of one drop of what I've been accused of."
I can't imagine whatsoever any direction you could look at this and think, yeah, go free. Unless someone collecting information or gathering or cataloging fucks something up, and it's just a complete, these things can burn. When you have a case against someone, one little fuck up can destroy the whole thing. I would not surprise me if this was involved with like just mismanagement somehow, letting this whole thing go scot-free, and a lawyer finding out and monopolizing on that.
I mean, that may have been what happened, because here's what is my main thing is, like, last week I talked about how both of the men that were accused of doing of carrying out the act had like checks that Jussie Smollett wrote to them, paying them for this whatever. And
how much? Like big money? Or
I have no idea. It's just the police had the checks to prove that he had paid them. So like that was I'm about the hard evidence, because if there wasn't hard evidence like that, and that might have been a bold-faced lie, we have no idea, because honestly, I think this brings up a big question about racism in our society and whether we're going to vilify this man. I
call bullshit on whatever level can be called on this. I don't have enough information to call it what bullshit is, but
my whole thing
bullshit.
Is if that hard evidence is there, then this is a gross miscarriage of justice, and if not, then who do we trust?
My sniffer smells bullshit.
It's a real thing.
Fuck you, dude.
All in all, Smollett is relieved
or not.
that all of this is behind him.
Maybe it's not him that's the bullshit. Maybe there's just bullshit afoot. I don't know. But I smell bullshit.
I feel that. I have more exciting news for you.
I like news.
Christian.
Yes, dear.
Tell me your nationality.
I am about as Scandinavian as it gets.
You've
I know
got
for
some
a fact
Norsemen
I'm
in you.
Scandinavian as fuck.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You are a true Viking, I feel like.
I guess. For as Viking as you get for being born in America and basically sounding as Californian as one does.
Well, I mean, like your hair, like as far as like your heritage.
Oh, yeah.
Your great ancestors.
Rumor has this and that and there, plus other Irish, blah, 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 blah. But
totally.
My family was not big on sharing, so.
Well, I have some exciting news about your heritage.
Yay!
I did this for you, and I'm sorry if you're not a Viking.
I am.
So there was recently a Canadian dig that discovered a Viking settlement in Canada.
Take That's History Channel.
So, satellite images have led archaeologists to a new excavation site in Canada, yielding more clues as to Norse settlements in North America. I guess the first time that they discovered this was in 1960. At the, oh man, I am so sorry for mispronouncing this.
Do it. Fuck it up.
The Lando Meadows in Newfoundland.
Lando Meadows? I don't know.
Lando Meadows? I don't know.
How's it spelled? Lay it on me.
You know what? I was drunk when I wrote this.
You're drunk when you're saying it. It's okay.
And I can't tell if that's a D or an S. Lanzo. Okay, we're just going to say Newfoundland.
We'll call it Newfoundland Lando.
Newfoundland Lando Calrissian. Which is, and this is what's so fascinating, is that dates that Vikings discovered North America 5 centuries before Columbus.
See, it's already been a rumor for a long time with other things discovered. Now it's this, I bet. Fuck you, history.
And this also proved that Vikings probably reached the United States at some point, because Newfoundland is pretty close to the border, I think.
Then when read book, run out, see what book say.
So the satellite images in 2015 showed another site at the southernmost tip of Newfoundland.
Fuck yeah.
And that basically could rewrite the story of the colonization of North America, which is kind of amazing. The dig unearthed remains of turf walls and an ironworking fireplace. And that actually brings new and valuable information on the seafaring and the metalworking of Norsemen.
Those basic, simple, hard-working bitches.
The head of the dig, whose last name is Porcak, Porcak, Porksack. I'm so sorry. She's confident that the remains are Viking, but they're not. But they're not entirely 100% sure, archaeologists, because Newfoundland actually bears traces of a lot of other cultures, such as like Native Americans or like Basque whalers from Spain who sheltered there from like the 1500s.
Ooh.
However, the turf structure and the hearth point Norse.
Yeah, I mean, come on. You got some people who, throughout other aspects of history, just decided to, all right, we think we got this. We're just going to keep going.
Yeah.
Boats can make it, is all I'm saying. I'm not trying to go into a big debate on the details. I'm simply saying boats can fucking make it.
Yeah.
A small girl in a boat. She crossed the ocean. Suck my dick, Vikings.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh no, there's a story.
This is actually the beginning of an ongoing project to build a more accurate timeline of Norseman exploration in the United States and North America. And that's all I've got on that.
I'm Googling.
You're Googling it?
I'm Googling.
Please Google it, you guys. It's
girl
pretty cool.
sails
it's like
around.
Oh, the girl sailing.
Laura Decker, a
For sure.
16-year-old girl's solo sail. I'm in need.
When?
2012. She was 14 years old at the time. She set out to sail in 2012. She had become the youngest girl to single-handedly circumnavigate the globe. Took 518 days.
Really?
Circumnavigate the globe.
So, like, what I really liked about the article is, so, like, talking about the metalworking and the hearth. Mm-hmm. So they were able to actually, because I don't know, like, if you know about really trademark Norseman Viking metalwork and stuff.
Yeah.
So they actually built these like metal nails that would go into the boats so they would hold them together, because their boats, the way that they built them was like to make them really fast. Mm-hmm. And this kind of shows that they were able to create more nails and like make repairs and stuff on the fly, which is really, really cool.
Yeah, shit.
On the go. Like, they weren't even in their home base. They were just like, oh, you know what? I'm going to fucking be a blacksmith over here and fucking pound one out to build this boat.
You don't got to be a blacksmith to pound one out, Haley. I'm just letting you know that right now.
It's called a double entendre.
Uh-huh. I was just talking to people earlier today about flat earthers.
Flat earthers?
Could you all handle it? Could you?
Me?
Yes, you and everyone listening as well.
Okay, all right.
What would you do if undeniable proof was released that the world was indeed flat and we've all been deceived this whole time?
Wow, okay. Wow, listeners, what would we do?
Could we accept this shit?
I live my life. I think hard evidence is very important. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing is it would need to be explained to me how we went from the earth is flat to the earth is round back to the earth is flat.
There's already so many beliefs about that too. There's a documentary that I was advised to watch. I think it's called like Round or something on Netflix. I want to watch it because you and I, we both love the human brain and the way we all work.
Oh, yeah.
And I love watching people who are in absolute firm stand of a completely different point of view and a different perspective.
Absolutely. That's exactly why I love true crime, is because I don't understand how someone could go that far. God, it's fascinating to me.
In college, studying those people in depth to that level was a roller coaster. Mm-hmm. That was like...
And then following their logic, you know, like if A equals B, then B equals C, and so on and so forth. And that leads you to not only taking someone's life, but enjoying it. I just don't grasp that.
Have you, since being a postgrad, come back to reading old books that you used to love, but now you see characters' movements and perspectives and actions in a completely new light?
Okay, you know what? Not books, but movies. Okay, so I'm gonna let myself be shown as a basic bitch for a millisecond. Okay, so when I was growing up, I was like 3 years old when my mom exposed me to this, and like it was my favorite play for a long time.
All your stories start when you're such a young little lass.
Start 'em young. So I loved the Phantom of the Opera. Loved Phantom of the Opera. Ooh. Favorite musical of all time. Loved the Phantom. You know, so amazing.
Yeah.
Really thought that, you know, like Christine deserved to be with the Phantom, like he needed her more and all this different stuff. So as I'm now post grad, I'm out of graduate school, and I'm like, you know what? It's on Netflix. I haven't seen it in a while. Wow, because I'm thinking like this shaped a lot of my like, you know, 12, 13, 14. I think I probably got into some abusive relationships because of that. Mm-hmm. The neediness.
Yeah.
And watching it again, I'm like, oh my God.
Becky.
Can she choose no one? Because both of these motherfuckers don't even know this bitch. They're all up on her tip, trying to fucking let me suck that dick, bitch. Like, and she doesn't, just because she has a pretty voice and a pretty face, like, you don't know anything about her, and you're killing for her, and you think that you can manipulate her into loving you. Like, oh, fuck no. Like, that was the biggest mind blower for me. Is like, what? Why on earth would you think that's an okay thing to do? And like the fact that she buys it. Yeah, I'm not a fan of either of them anymore. I'm like, no, fuck Raoul, fuck the Phantom.
It's so funny now, isn't it?
Let her just live her own life.
It's why, as an adult, I think it's funny that I gravitated back to Dragon Ball of all things.
Yeah, Dragon Ball Z.
They're all just a bunch of fucked up idiots that have no right to be the ones in charge of us, because they're the ones that we're in danger of. The Roman and Greek gods fell and failed.
Oh, yeah.
So reckless with their power and blah, blah, blah. That's what this is a story of to me.
Oh, totally.
And it's up to them to keep us safe from their own goddamn shenanigans. Stories. So I love stories of recklessness. I like watching people unhinge themselves. You ever seen, oh God, I can't remember the fucking movie. I'm tangenting too much anyways.
Maybe we should probably segue into our main topic of the evening.
Main topic. What's the main topic?
Christian went to Rendezvous this past week.
Pop in the cherry to Rendezvous. I'm drinking a Twisted Monk Belgian style Abbey Ale. is strong as hell, and I was going to share this with Raphael when he was going to be here, but he's got so much on his plate, so I kicked him out, and I'm drinking his beer. Pop that cherry. To Rendezvous.
Congrats.
Yeah.
L'chaim.
Stolen beer.
Stolen beer.
Read to me.
So, just recently, the 2019 Paiute Mountain Rendezvous occurred.
Mm-hmm.
It's a week-long event where hundreds of reenactors mill about camp in pre-1840s Rocky Mountain man attire. This is actually sponsored by the Paiute Mountain Buckskinners, which is a club dedicated to preserving early 19th century American history. And what's really interesting about this is I thought that it was very similar, like me not knowing a lot about Rendezvous, thinking that it was kind of like Buckskin Ren Fair.
Yep, and that's really commonly confused. It's not, though.
But you know what? It is actually it's keeping the spirit alive from this event, this yearly event called Rocky Mountain Rendezvous. That was an annual gathering that happened from like 1825 to 1840.
Yep.
Held by like a fur trading company where trappers and mountain men sold furs and replenished supplies. And it actually got so big that like families would come and tourists from all over.
Some would call that the downfall of Rendezvous.
Really?
Yes.
Which is so wild to me. So there's like a lot of drinking and games and singing. And it was this huge community that would come together and really like in shared interests and commonality, and it's it's actually really beautiful. And I really think that it's so cool that Paiute Rendezvous is trying to keep that spirit alive by doing reenactments today.
You'd have the vendors and sellers that would not be able to get the fur, and you'd have the trappers that didn't live in society, so they would come halfway, meet up, and then it would just be a giant party. It'd be like Woodstock with furs.
That's awesome. Woodstock before Woodstock was Woodstock.
Oh, hell yeah. At the time, it wasn't shamed upon, and it shouldn't be today, but lots of prostitution out there, and just, you know what, out in the middle of the wilderness is buck going wild.
We'll say sex work.
Sex work's awesome.
Because sex work is work.
Yeah. I don't think any word should be a bad word unless you're a piece of shit.
Fair.
And then that's when we just stomp you.
By the curb.
In the dick.
California smile.
You don't really win with any fight. Any fight's a loss, but...
I used to fight a lot in middle school.
I
used to actually be the bully.
What's your first fight?
My first fight? I was in first grade, and I was the least popular girl in school, and I was supposed to fight the most popular girl in school in order to, like, I feel it's very, like, tying into Game of Thrones is very Dothraki of us. Like, the Khal is the Khal because he's the strongest. Like, I was going to fight the popular girl in school to become the most popular girl in school.
You could turn them all into women, because I feel the Dothraki are very relatable to modern women.
Oh, yeah?
Warriors, all of you.
Solid.
Out there claiming your territory, putting on your war paint, growing your hair out, be like, I've never been defeated. I will not cut my hair without defeat.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, what's funny is I got a couple good licks in.
Yeah. And
she called it quits. She was like, I'll tell you what, like, we'll stop fucking with you if you stop whittling on me. And I was like, okay. And that was that.
The most Haley ending of a fight ever.
But I was like actually like kind of a bully in middle school. Like not
really?
Not in a modern day cyberbullying kind of way. Just in a like, okay, so here's my thing is.
You seem more like you would have just been an instigator.
No, I had crushes on boys and I didn't know how to deal with that without like, so I thought to myself like, oh, like I really want to touch him, like, you know, like his arm and stuff, but I don't want him to know that I like him, so I'm going to punch him. So then I could touch him, but he doesn't know I like him. That kind of bully.
You're a 5-year-old
so I would beat up boys
You're
in middle school.
You're a 5-year-old boy in middle school.
Yeah.
I like you.
I was essentially a 5-year-old boy. I was the puller of the pigtails.
throwing Molotov cocktails with their fucking parents' car when they drive to pick them up.
Wait, isn't
I
that
like you.
That's how I got my husband.
Yep. Yep. Told you.
Set his car on fire. No?
My first fight, I was in middle school. I had just only was there for a little while. I had just moved into town again. I think I just moved into Temecula, Red Hawk.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I remember playing a lot of Earthworm Jim at the time on my Genesis because it was a giant 2-story house for no reason, just my dad and me.
Oh, wow.
They had this tiny little TV with a Sega Genesis on top of a plastic container for furniture. I was laying on the floor for 5 weeks. And so that was my dad just like, I'll get furniture when I get to it. And whatever. I got a nice house. That's all I care. All right, Dad. Well, thanks for the distractions, I guess. And I was getting a little chubby. And so I'm in school. And my buddy and I were in PE and we're doing the whole like running around the track for an hour.
Uh-huh.
And the kid behind us was bullying my buddy. Just nonsensically. Just calling him a pussy and dumb shit kids do.
Right.
And I just turned around and I guess I just wise-assed to him, however young me wise-assed at the time. I can't really even recall how I engaged him. But I look back and dude flicked a big old giant nasty booger on the back of my shirt. So I just pulled my arms into my sleeves, turned my shirt around backwards, turned around and ran backward for a second and flicked the booger back on him.
Well, yeah.
And he got pissed.
How else are you supposed to do it?
So he ran and he pushed me and I was running backwards. Obviously I fell and slid and it hurt like shit. So I got up and I was like, you fucking dick. So we get all the way around and we're still running. And for some reason, no matter what pace I go, he's still right behind me. I'm like, God damn it. He's clearly healthier than me so he can keep up with whatever my newly flabby child body. I was a skinny, scrawny, weird wanderer as a kid. Now I'm middle school turning into this chunko. Just for fuck's sake, dude, leave me alone. I'm already having a hard enough time as it is. Just fuck off. You're a dick. Not in those words as a kid, me. So I get in, and finally, my temper popped. I just turned to the coach. Are you even going to remotely do anything about this?
Yeah, coach.
Fucking listening. And so he scolds me because I cuss him up as a kid.
Fuck that motherfucker
so
right
I get
fucking
scolded.
now.
Do you want to get blah, 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 blah? I was like, fuck you. All right, whatever. Fuck. So he keeps it up all the way back into the goddamn locker room. And I don't even know what he's saying at this point. I'm just like, God, get off my fucking back, you piece of shit. This is what bullying feels like? Right. This sucks. I've never been in a fight. Oh my God, this is going to hurt. I'm going to get annihilated. What if I die? I guess I'm just going to have to make sure whatever I do, I break his nose.
Broke his nose?
I went for a punch and fucked up, and I barely grazed his cheek like a little whiny shit. And he grabs me by the head, and he slams me against the locker. And then from there, I remember falling down. He slams me again. I remember the back of my head hitting a lock dangling. And he's just fucking pummeling me. So I kick his ankle out from him, and all I hear is the kids going around me. Since he had a grip on my head, I was like, that's a good idea. I'm trying to grab his head, and he's fucking wailing on me. And I finally get his head, and the coach starts breaking us off, and I just start smashing my forehead and my face against his nose.
God, headbutting him, just like...
That wasn't my blood on my head after all. That was his. And I did, in fact, break his nose, and we both got in a shitload of trouble.
Congratulations. You set a goal, and you met it.
When I stood up, or when I was stood up, I did not want to stay stood up.
See, here's the thing, is... Even though I've been in a couple of fights, I've actually never been hit.
Damn, go girl.
Ooh. And mainly because I had an older brother, who was the quintessential, like, guy's guy.
She floats like Madonna and stings like Beyonce.
Yeah, that's me. So one of the things that we used to do as a pastime is he would put me in headlocks, and my job was to get out of them.
Oh, shit.
And so I got really good at bobbing and weaving. And one of our other pastimes is he would tie me around with rope and I would get out of it, like Houdini style.
Word.
So I just got really good at defensive, and so I would just duck, bam,
That's the trick. Well, that's not the trick. I don't want no one listen to this as advice on how to fight. This is not the goal.
Not. We're talking childhood. Yeah. Everyone is fumbling. No one knows what's going on.
If you have your system, you know what to stick for. All you have to do is wait for your opening. Then you use what you know.
And you go for the knees.
You go for the knees, and I'm sorry, I'm a crotch kicker.
Crotch kicker?
I am a heavy-duty crotch kicker. I know I shouldn't say this on air. Oh, God, now everyone's going to know how to fight me, but... Anyways, so we're wasting all this time talking about nonsense.
Sorry.
All right, so
So tell me about Rendezvous.
I loved it. Oh my god, I've been
So
going
I did
for.
the research, but I don't.
I've been
What
going
is
for
it like
years.
being there?
I've been going for years, and Raphael took me. I love you, dude. Thank you for that. That was awesome. I'm so glad I got there when I did. And I spent the first bit of time by myself. By the first night, once I got my tent set up, which takes no time, wedge tents just go up in a fucking blink of an eye. Once you know how to do them, stake, up, good to go. Make sure it's good. Throw your stuff in. Go play.
Fun.
All the poles are the work.
So Rendezvous is basically Red Dead Redemption.
Oh God, it's funny you say that because that's the funny thing I discovered when I went back. Is my good friend David came over and watched me play Red Dead at one point, and he called me out. So what chapter are you on? I was like, oh, I don't know. I like chapter 2, right when they let you go free. I haven't gone through the story at all yet. And he's looking down at my stamina, my health is all up. I was like, wait, how are you so leveled up? I don't know. I've just been out in the wilderness hunting shit. I've got all the legendary shit that allow me to get so far. It's like, wait, so your stamina and shit's going because you've just like been falling off shit, surviving and stuff this whole time? Yeah, I just went out and survived in the wilderness. Maxed out my character's stuff.
So you just played Rendezvous.
And then I
on
go
Red Dead.
Exactly. Okay, I guess I'll see what's going on in the story. I've been taking care of camp, so like everything's leveled up and taken beautiful, pristine care of. They're all living good. I go back to camp like once every week in the game time.
Yeah.
Because I camp out in the middle of there, and then I found out you could leave your tents there. So I'm like, oh, I could leave camp up, fucking sweet, and that's the best spot for hunting what I need. I went way too deep into it, right? I went and I did all the chores in there. And this is like in between, since I work from home, in between breaths, you just kind of find things to do.
Yeah.
And that's how I did the thing, is just by casually playing Red Dead little by little. And yes, exactly. I online did Rendezvous.
So then you caught the live show.
I go back home. It used to be Heart Canyon.
Oh.
It used to be Heart Canyon Rendezvous, yeah. And they've now changed it to the new ownership and new run, and they did a fantastic job. Paiute was fantastic. First year, they gave away fantastic prizes for the raffle, which, oh, good God, people were getting hand over fist. They weren't just giving out like, thank you for joining the raffle and buying your tickets to come with us. We'll reward you with a reward or an item each. They gave 12 big starter kit worthy baskets of things away so people can keep, because they genuinely seem to want this to continue. And that's
fun.
It's funny because
I really want to go next year.
I want to take so many people with me.
Especially because like Red Dead Redemption became such a big thing. Like you could just market it as like Red Dead, the live show. And you can just relive Rendezvous.
It's like Zen to me. I love it.
Day.
You spend your days doing whatever the hell you want, but you have to make sure you take care of the minimums, you know? You have to be warm enough, because out here in the middle of this wonderful, beautiful canyon, Jesus Christ, it's so fucking gorgeous out there. You need to see this. Raphael driving in was going, what the fuck,
Oh,
dude?
did he go for like a day or something?
No, he was my ride in. He drove me and dropped me off in the middle of nowhere, and I think that's the coolest thing a friend's done for me in forever, so I'm in his debt. I actually...
Cheers to you, Raph.
Oh, God, it's so funny. Yeah, so he was joking about... We initially went the wrong way because we just put the GPS in, and I know my way there, and I was like, all right, cool. Well, the GPS will get there, and once I start seeing things that are familiar, I will guide us from there. But nothing looks familiar. I was like, I guess this looks familiar. I guess this looks familiar. Mm-hmm. And it got us so close. It says, all right, you're only 20 minutes away. I was like, how the fuck? We haven't even gone down into the canyon yet. I don't understand what's going on. It did, but it took us all the way around to the backside of the mountain and the hills we couldn't possibly drive to. So we had to backtrack, and we thought that the gates were closing at 1. When it turns out they were pretty lenient. They're going to be open until like 3:30, 5 o'clock.
Sweet.
But Raph, and bless his goddamn heart, he was putting his truck through the ringer to make sure I got there on time by 1. Aww. And we kept getting lost because the instructions were a little bit funky, and things were a little bit different looking because all the rain made it so much different. It used to be so dry out there for all the years I've been because of the drought.
It's so green.
No. Now it's so gold, purple, and white.
Ooh,
it was so floral and beautiful and amazing. So the water was running, the creeks. It was, you have no fucking clue, Haley.
Wow.
The cows were roaming through the camp in the mornings. I had to chase one around to keep a dog, and little baby calf came in, tried playing with a puppy that got loose, and I was kind of playing rodeo clown and keeping him away. Oh my God, Haley, you have no idea that. So I get there, and the first few days, I'm just kind of, people are rolling in, and they're trying to set up camp, and I got nothing else to do because my camp went up in no time. It's just me. And I'm running around and helping them set up, and I'm sharing my. I brought my favorite scotch, Monkey Back. Everyone, please go try Monkey Back. It's delicious. And I just kept sharing my stuff, and I was out of booze by day 2. Because I gave almost all of it away.
Gotta stock up next time.
Yeah, well, I thought I was just taking like a ration from me so I can loose it up and relax because I'm a workaholic.
Sure. But you're also a very generous person, and you are. Let's be real. You got to be honest with yourself about how much you share your things.
Fucking with my microphone while you talk kindly to me and I ruin our podcast.
I will just shower you with compliments while you adjust yourself.
It's awesome because you get to sit there and do nothing. You get to barter and trade. I had this one beautiful lady. She runs a pirate sales tent and a bunch of fairs, and I was buying up all her shit and using it to barter around camp. And I got stuff for people for Ren Fair that I got off her that I'm bartering.
Basically, get to be a cowboy for fucking 9 days.
Yeah, and I get to help out and make everyone like I love working with all the vendors to get them playful and get them business.
And it's super cheap to do it too, right? It's like $20
to get in
for fucking the whole 9 days.
Yes,
you guys.
And if you're a vendor, you get to come in early.
Chimi people, can we do an event?
Yeah, you have no idea how much I'd like to just go camp somewhere. You can come find me, and I'll show you exactly what it's like.
Well, I'm telling, like, what if we all just, like, did a Chimi rendezvous?
Let's go camping. Let's go record.
I'm telling you, we'll call it a Chimi rendezvous.
You grab your husband, I'll grab my gal, and we'll grab some fence. And
I love your gal. Can I just take a second to tell you how much I love your gal? I just killed a spider on myself.
Well, welcome to rendezvous mode.
Okay.
Now you're a badass.
You have to understand that I'm super arachnophobic. That was a really big moment. Can I maybe sit in a different chair because I'm afraid that this one has the spiders?
Hell yeah. Do you want to try the rendezvous chair?
Can I sit in the rendezvous chair?
Yeah. I have a traditional chair that was gifted to me, and I took measurements. And my goal was to take him the measurements in the draftings I got so we can replicate and make more. Please excuse as Haley adjusts herself in front of me. I apologize
for the noise,
but
you guys.
I want you to hear, it's a wooden chair, just 2 wooden planks, one with a hole in it, the other just sitting through it. And I kid you not, Haley, it is the most comfortable thing I sat in a long time. Now lean all the way back into it and get comfy. Wiggle into it.
Oh my.
Put your head back all the way. Doesn't that feel great on your back?
I feel like I'm in a dentist chair.
In a good way?
With the lean back?
Yeah. But if you spread your legs and become very ladylike, you can actually lean forward, and you find that it's like it slides and you get comfy in it. You can sit sideways with your arm up.
Oh, I can nap out of this chair.
I napped in that chair in the shade. There's certain times of the day you just have to stay out of the sun because you don't just go up and drink like the mountain men of old, which you...
I mean, you could.
You do. I mean, you do. I'm saying you don't just.
Right.
They have shooting ranges that they'll teach you how to shoot flintlock rifles and archery. I mean, I taught someone how to throw tomahawks.
Throwing a tomahawk.
You know, it is so fun to just go out there and just have a block of wood and throw, and people come up and you show them what you do, and you have fun with it. You make games.
You show them what you do?
It's late at night. You show a lot of people what you do. It's rendezvous.
You do go to get drunk.
I'm lucky. My camp, I have a great camp cook where I camp.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. You know what? Honestly, I can't spoil the secrets too much because I don't want everyone to come frustrated. The lines will build with how good his food is.
Oh, man.
But I eat as good at Rendezvous as I did when I went to New Orleans.
Oh, my. That's a big-ass claim you've got there.
Let me just...
I apologize sincerely for all our Norlinian listeners.
I had my favorite breakfast sandwich 2 days in a row, and I had 2 of them both days. And you know how I'm not an overindulger. I watch myself.
That's true. That's very true.
By the way, only my family calls me Chris.
Really?
Yes.
No one else calls you Chris?
My friends call me Christian because that is my name.
So are they... Okay, let me ask you this. Is your family the only ones who are allowed to call you Chris, or is just the ones who call you Chris?
My family are the only ones that I don't want to slap when they call me Chris.
Oh. What if I just called you... I
respect them too much to slap them.
What if I just called you Chan?
And I love them,
Tan.
so only they get to call me that. Call me whatever you want, baby.
Just don't call you late for dinner.
No, I'm early all the time. Because I set my cock forward like a true overworker.
I thought you said you set your cock forward. You meant.
Which you got me a really happy stitch clock.
I did get you a stitch
with
clock.
With the creepiest alarm
I was
sound
not
on the planet.
only one to get you that stitch clock. Val and I went halvesies.
Oh, Val is one of our mutual dear friends from a former work life. Haley and I, history buffs, we're getting nowhere with Game of Thrones.
No, we aren't.
It's probably going to have to be a talk
Maybe
for another day. But we used to, Haley, you and I used to work together.
You used to be my boss.
I used to, now we're partners.
Yeah. I still kind of consider you a boss a little bit because, you know, I'm just here. I'm just reading the news.
That's because you're the only one that remembers the safe word.
That's true, but I never get to use it because you're just too damn gentle.
If I remember what the safe word is, I'll just go full bore.
Honestly, the only thing I can think about to talk about with Game of Thrones is the main issue that I had earlier. It was season 8, episode 1, and it's not even a spoiler. It's about I cannot get over Daenerys' hair.
Yeah. Thick is the word you use. You said
it baffles me how she's able to get so many thick, intricate braids and also have that amount of cascading shoulder length hair on her head. That is, she must have such thick hair strands and a lot of said thick hair strands.
She has some of the most options as hairdresser for people as her subjects. Have you ever been on the back of an airplane and then gotten off and looked at yourself in the mirror?
My thing is your hair can only go, like, your hair techniques can only go so far. You got to work with what you have, and I'm telling you, the homegirl has got to have some hair pieces within this.
Yeah, you think?
You know? I feel like she has one of those, like, braid yarmulkes that they just, like, put on the back of her head.
I always assume they're doing her hair big because the Dothraki way was to, until you're defeated, you don't cut your hair, and she doesn't feel like she's defeated.
And for every battle you win, you add a braid. So she's got quite a few braids now.
Yeah.
But my whole thing is,
God, when she's old, that's gonna be matty and ugly as shit.
She's not gonna have any more hair to keep down. It's just gonna be all one giant gorgeous braid.
You think maybe that's why she stopped doing the nude scenes, is because the pubes are gaining the braids as well?
Perhaps.
Like she's running out of headspace.
I mean, like, this has nothing to do with the story, and it's more, I'm pretty sure Emilia Clarke was like, hey, after a certain amount of time, I'm not doing that anymore.
Well, for sure, but I'm thinking, like, in reality, Daenerys
in fiction,
only I get to feel sexy in front of myself.
Well, I mean, like, pube-wise, because here's the thing about the braids is you want people to see how many battles you've won, so it, like, you wouldn't be braiding.
Really picky with her lovers.
I feel like the pubes would be a last resort. So she's got all the braids, no longer cascading on the bottom. She's just got, like, her whole head is just like 1,000,001 braids. Then you start moving to the arm hair. Then you start moving to the leg hair. And then finally, after everything has been braided, because you just keep kicking ass.
See, I think maybe that she's been doing it because she's so picky about her lovers that she wants her pubes to intimidate them.
But do all of her lovers know what the braids mean? Or do they just think that she's ladyscaping for them?
It's for her.
Is it?
She does this for her.
Do you think that she gets a different braid for every lover she conquers?
You know what?
On her pube?
That would mean she has what? She has
her
husband, her first
Drogo.
husband.
Then we've got
the weird dude with the curved sword that kept changing actors, and apparently
Dario
the book
Naharis
was supposed to be all weird colored.
Dario Naharis. That is correct. And then we've got John.
Oh, dear cousin John.
Dear nephew John.
Ooh, creepier. Incest is best. Put your John to the test.
That made so much sense.
I don't know how that happens.
That happens. That went so well. That happened so well.
Yeah, let's. I think we're gonna need to get some more fun. And you've been hosting some parties, and I've been on the mountain for so long. I thought that only episode 1 was out.
Oh no, I host a Game of Thrones party every week. So here's what happens: is we go to my mom's house. and you bring a food to share.
I like food. I do food well. I will share food.
And like, so it was last night. So I don't know when when we're going to release this podcast, but episode 2 was last night, and we had Totino's pizza rolls and we had chicken nuggets. And what was great about the chicken nuggets is they were gluten free.
Ooh,
because we have some friends who are gluten sensitive,
as Southern California has taught us.
And then like we had watermelon, which was really good. I need to be leaving soon.
Yeah, you sound like you're starting to sober up and tire of my ramblings.
Yeah, I'm just about sober, and I've got an early morning, and we gotta call it a night.
Well, thank you for joining me, and thank you for letting me talk about my rendezvous passion.
Thank you so much. This was really fun, just hanging out, the two of us.
Yeah, let's plan our own rendezvous soon.
Yes, please.
If you'd like to know more about rendezvous in your area, I advise you use the great Google and search for yourself. Otherwise, please feel free to comment here and let's talk about it together. Let's play. I love it. I think you will too. I think it's good for everyone. So have fun, play safe, and may the awesomeness be with you.